What's going on? This is your boy NEMEsI. And normally I am working on music or film or some form of entertainment in that particular area. But today I'm representing Soldier 23 Project, and we do a lot of outreach. So the outreach that we do, it falls up under Together Community Service Initiative, which is a 501c3 nonprofit. So I just wanted to take time to share some real information concerning infection control, since we're dealing with the coronavirus and all of that whatnot. So just a little bit more about my background is I was a combat medic in the Persian Gulf War. So yeah, that's me. I'm that guy right there. So in the Persian Gulf War, I was a combat medic, EMT, paramedic, healthcare NCO, healthcare non-commissioned officer, and we got to manage different casualties, and we had to do all of the different precautions. So I understand the landscape which we are operating on right now. Uh, Other thing, I went on to do the certificates like medical assistant. So, and from medical assistant to phlebotomy, EKG, and I also went ahead and finished up a degree in medical studies, and I taught at different colleges and post-secondary education. But okay, so what I wanted to talk to you guys about seriously is infection control. Infection control. So let's put that up. Infections. Infection control. That is a huge issue, but I want you guys to understand. So if you're following me, not just the music, I need you to get your mind wrapped around the landscape in which we're dealing with right now, which we're dealing with infection control. So now, what does that mean? Infection control is the measures by which we implement in order to control the spread of microorganisms. So microorganisms so microorganisms are what we're trying to control. So microorganisms are broken down into two categories. Okay, so category A, or and then you got category B. So you got pathogens and non-pathogens. So microorganisms, again, are what we're trying to control with infection control. So now you have microorganisms, and they're broken down in the categories of pathogens and non-pathogens. Now, what are non-pathogens? Non-pathogens are the microorganisms, the little tiny things that live in the world. They live on your body, on your hands. It's part of what they call the normal flora. The normal flora is we have bacteria, we have all these different things that are part of our bodies and our systems, and they help us stay healthy long as we maintain a normal balance. So be careful with the hand sanitizer because you're throwing off the balance if you do it like absolutely too much. So the non-pathogens are the good guys. So they take care of us. They're our friends. As long as they're maintained in the proper place, they're good. Now, pathogens. Pathogens are the ones that cause us the problems. So the pathogens are viruses, and we have bacteria, and we also have fungus, and we also have rickettsia, viruses that we are trying to protect ourselves against. So again, the pathogens are the ones that cause us to become sick. So you have viruses like the flu virus, HIV virus, so like herpes virus. You have all these different viruses. The viruses are the smallest one of the pathogens. So viruses are the smallest microorganisms. So they're very, very tiny. So they can cause us, to have problems when we breathe them in. Bacteria are larger than viruses. And then you have fungus, and then you have protozoa, rickettsia. Those are when you get into the lice and all the little mites and all of that. But the thing again that we're concerned about all pathogens that cause us problems. But the major ones that really cause us like major issues are these viruses. So the cold virus, the flu virus, viruses, man. So how can we control the spread of them? Well, they have how do we protect ourselves? They have what they call universal standard precaution. So universal precautions, standard precautions, those are precautions that we use to control them. And the number one thing is hand washing. So for the medical professionals out there that understand what I'm talking about, hand washing is critically important to that process. So standard precaution, people. Just in case the computer systems go out and all of that stuff, hey, keep your books. So standard precautions. See that right there? All right, standard precautions. I'll go over it. It's washing hands, it's wearing gloves, wearing masks, wearing gowns, patient care equipment, is being able to be cautious of like blood and body fluids and secretions and excretions. So it's being able to put the linens and dirty like things that you use after you come in contact with something that is contaminated. Contaminated is just like when you got it. When you got it and you're a carrier, you are sneezing and coughing on everything, you contaminate those things. So being able to know what to do with the contaminated items. It's a plate. You don't mix them in with the clean. So you got clean and dirty. So it's a process. So if you are unfamiliar or if you never heard of the term standard precaution, take a look it up, standard precautions, and it'll give you the guidelines. And that'll fall up under like the CDC and OSHA. Okay. Big point again, hand washing is paramount. So the other thing that I want you to understand is the chain of infection. Okay, the chain of infection is talking about how you can have a carrier, a person that is carrying the disease or carrying the microorganism, the pathogen, the virus, and they got it now. So they are the carrier. So now when they sneeze, it leaves them, and let's say it goes on an inanimate object like a doorknob, right? So a doorknob, everybody goes into the building or whatever, they're touching the same doorknob. So now the virus, which is very small, is now resting on the doorknob, right? So it's on the doorknob, and when the person goes to turn the doorknob, now what they do is they'll come, sit down, and they'll touch something like a remote control. They'll sneeze, and now it's in the air, droplets, and now the droplets come in contact with their hands. Now they're touching on the remote control. So now they touch the remote control, set the remote control down, and now they left out of the room, and now somebody else come and grab the same remote control. And now they grab the same remote control, changing channels, and then they rub their face, touch their eye. So now the virus just left the remote control. Then you touched it in your eye, or you dug in your nose, or you breathed it in. And now it is inside your body. Now, the perfect environment for a lot of viruses is a warm, moist, oxygenated, dark environment. So think about the inside of our bodies. The inside of our bodies is the perfect place for them to grow like out of control, unchecked. So once they get in, they can affect you like they're trying to get to your hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is in the brain. The hypothalamus part of the brain, it controls the temperature. So what your body is trying to do, once the invader get in, it's trying to elevate your temperature to burn the virus out. So and if the virus can hold out, and the temperature keep going up, that's it. That'll kill somebody. So hopefully the virus gets burned out first, which leads me into the next thing. How can we control the spread of them? Hand washing is good. That's great. Wearing a mask is, that's good too. Wearing a gown is good too. But how do we kill those guys? How do we really, we can control them, but how can we kill them? That's the big question. Well, there's an answer for that. Viruses, bacteria, all these things cannot exist out in a heated environment. So the way that they kill them is they use the autoclave. The autoclave is a device used to put instruments in to sterilize them. Sterilization by heat kills everything. It kills all of the microorganisms. So it's a technique that they put inside the autoclave. The autoclave is what they put dirty instruments, lead, all these things in, and they put it in, and they use heat to kill everything. And once it's out, it's free of microorganisms. So that's essentially what your body is trying to do when the temperature goes up. It's trying to increase the heat and kill the virus. So be careful out there. So this is the first lesson. This is your boy NEMEsI. I'll be giving you more hints, more tips on how to maneuver. Generally, these classes are for healthcare professionals, but we're in a crisis right now, so I want to share whatever medical knowledge or information I have that will help you get through it. That's what I'm here for. So this is the Soldier 23 project, along with Together Community Service Initiative, sharing information. So I hope this tip helps you out. So wash your hands, and disinfectant is okay, like Lysol, and you spray all of these great things around, and it'll kill the virus on the surface. But Lysol and bleach doesn't kill everything, but heat does. So remember that. Get back with you. Follow us at soldier23project.com. All right, later. Get back with you.